All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another USF Gold Smash stream, our first of the semester. My name is Benjamin. I'm joined here by the lovely Cole. How are we doing today?
I am doing excellent, Benjamin. I'm so excited to get back into the action of USF Smash. We've been doing great as a club. We've been running our locals, but we are ready to go back online and compete in NACE Varsity Premier. USF is back with some returning members and some new faces. Anyone who was a regular viewer of our last matches will recognize Wiccan, the lovely Isabel, who actually will be starting this match, as well as players like Raccoon on Mario. And but we also have some new faces that you'll see that hopefully you'll be able to see tonight. We have Alias Star on Me Sword Fighter. Me Sword Fighter is a very interesting character, as I will love to talk about once we get around there. Yeah, the Me connection. And then we also have a new player, Matt, the Incineroar. Very strong player.
Oh man.
Was coming up. Was new to USF this year. He transferred in from I believe somewhere on the east coast of Florida. But he came in, was coming to our locals. Was like pretty new. He was like going O2 frequently, but he's really getting up there.
Oh, he's super getting, locked in.
He's getting some great wins. So I'm very happy to see how he's able to perform over the course of the season. And then of course we also have Pooby on Piranha Plant. The Tampa Classic Piranha Plant. Yeah. Very great player. Managed to get number 3 at USF, I believe, in our PR period for this last semester, which is very good. So I am so excited, and it looks like we are going to be going into our next into the very start of this match.
Yep, and we're playing Shenandoah.
Yes, of course,
That's going to be difficult. When we played last semester,
that's right.
That's something that maybe our keen-eyed viewers will recall. And yeah, I don't believe that we won, but it was cllose.
It was,
I think that's how that went.
Yeah, it was quite close. Shenandoah has some very strong players that I recall. The big two, I remember Kip, the Pac-Man, is very strong, and then Willie Crescent, the Kazuya/Terry player, did some numbers in that match. Yeah. So we'll see what's coming up there. But for now, we are looking at Wiccan on Isabel versus Eyes on Palutena.
Yeah, and already they're really fighting fierce, going back and forth, super scrappy. I think we expected to be in for maybe a more stally match, but already both players at, not low percents, let's just say, in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, Palutena is definitely a good pick into Isabel. Isabel, the whole thing is controlling the space with these fares and these slingshots, and Palutena has exceptional aerials that are able to get in against the Isabel play. Wiccan's job here is going to be to keep them out as best as possible, but it is much easier said than done against a character like Palu with such good aerials, some of which are priority, but almost going to find the kill with that slingshot upwards, which is barely not going to take it. But does have a percent lead. Isabel is a character that can struggle to kill at times, so it's...
Great grab from under the ledge. And then that one is going to kill off the top. Now, the first one came close, but not quite, and it really feels like Wiccan has had so much of the stage control in this opening. And right away, again, not letting up on the gas pedal, although, going to be put off stage here. We're going to see if Palutena can do the same, but not quite the same.
Yeah, you're very correct when you say that this is a very scrappy match considering a character like Isabel. And Wiccan, they'll admit themselves, they run away a lot, but a lot of the scraps have been going their way, honestly, to build this percent lead. And they were able to find that kill. I noticed they were able to have that lingering slingshot on stage and just cover the ledge. And when Palu doesn't have, when Palu has to go at that angle, there's no hitbox or anything. It seems like that might just be a checkmate if they can, when they find that slingshot or the fishing rod in that spot. So I wonder if we can stop finding any more kills like that.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems that it would kill, like, as far as Isabel concerns, it would kill fairly early.
Yeah. So it's kind of, see the way that the Palutena does that recovery angle?
Yeah.
If they do it like that, this is a little more technical, but if they do it at that angle, the 2-frame is not there. If they do it from the side like that, the 2-frame to like clip them before they get the legend ability, it goes away. So the Palutena will probably recognize and try to not take that angle where they can get.
Ooh, what a crab!
Great find by Wiccan to get them Isabel the Palutena as they're recovering. Great snipe, and once again able to find a kill before it can get too dire and keeping this percent lead. In a stock lead as well. So going to get as much extra credit as possible before this Palutena can find a stock.
Ooh, nice jab block and getting a lot of extra percent. I mean, not that much, but still a very, very nice find. And now into that, now we're getting into the territory where, you know, it is first stream of the semester. Do we have to explain how the crew battles work once again? I don't know, but let's just say Wiccan is going to be very keen to keep the second stock, because if he can take this last Palutena stock before he loses his second, then he will keep both of those stocks going into the Shenandoah next player.
That's exactly right. Even if he ends up at 150%, almost like on the verge of death, as long as he's able to keep this stock, then he will go in with a big lead. And I think this Palutena player might be getting a little bit antsy.
Oh, I can see the confidence now coming out from Wiccan. I mean, he is just holding forward and finding so many things that Fishing Rod is going to do it. Really, really good spacing, and USF is going to take a dominant lead in the start of this one. That is going to be 11-9.
Yeah, that's a great start. If you can find a 2-stock lead in a crew battle, then you are off to a great start, because if you only have 1 stock, then they'll have the counter pick advantage, and if they are able to convert it, then you're just back to a tie game. But when it feels like almost cementing the lead in, if you're able to get a 2-stock victory there. So really great find by Wiccan. I want to call out what I was talking about earlier with the fishing rod covering the ledge there.
I didn't think that was going to reach. I thought he did it too close to the stage. And
I was surprised, If Palutena has to go with that angle, there's really not that much mix that she can do, because she has to teleport to the ledge. And if you get the fishing rod there, then it's just wraps. So good find by Wiccan to convert that. All 3 kills with fishing rod. 2 at the ledge itself, and 1 as escaping from the ledge. So I think Wiccan doing a very good job of pressuring their opponent in the corner with that fishing rod. Definitely one of, I wouldn't call it an X factor, but it's one of the Isabelle tricks that if you don't have a plan for, it can really mess you up, because it is such a great tool in advantage state.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would call it the X Factor. I mean, just that is... we'll see how many more
kills.
kills...
Isabelle standards.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we had the Minimaxify Thrupper counter as a staple, you know, for streams a year ago when you were playing, I think that we could maybe, you know...
It's the closest thing to an X Factor. Compared to some of the demons in this game, man. Steve, Block, Kazuya, Electric. Like, am I really calling Isabelle Fishing Rod an X Factor? It feels generous. But I mean, Wiccan out there making it look like an X Factor. Three great kills to bring the Bulls to an 11-9 lead. And if I had to think about what the counter pick might be, because we do. But the characters that we are expecting to see, I don't have to speculate for too long.
I was going to say, I did have something in mind, and it is, in fact, what we're going to be seeing now, and that is Pac-Man coming out from none other than Kip.
Exactly
one of Shenandoah's strongest players. So going to be, you know, definitely a very, very difficult one now. So as we said before, the way that the crew battle works is, you know, Wiccan there is going to have to self-destruct the first stock, because that is the 1 stock that he lost into the previous matchup, but because he got the 2 stock, managing to keep this as a 3-2 game, and now we get to see what he's got into such a different opponent, I think, than Palutena.
So one thing that I'm going to be looking out for in this match, Isabelle as a character has a move called Pocket. And what Pocket does is, if a character throws out a projectile, then she can take it and pick it up and hold it for herself. And she can use it against them, which is useful, but what's more important a lot of the time in a matchup like against a character like Pac-Man is that Pac-Man can only spawn 1 of his neutral pieces bonus fruit, and if Isabelle pockets that move, then Pac-Man just can't use it anymore. And if Pac-Man doesn't have bonus fruit, then they are a much weaker character. A lot of their neutral just goes down the drain. So I think a job right here, what we see is instantly pulling it back in hand. And now, if Wiccan continues to hold, well, okay, they got knocked out of it, unfortunately. But that's a dynamic that I'm expecting to see throughout the course of this game. Is Wiccan going to be able to starve the Pac-Man of using their bonus fruit and neuter their killing and neuter their advantage?
The key going straight on through, and you know, 64% is not nothing, but they might get a little bit dicey here for Wiccan trying to at least take 1 stock. But wow, getting a lot of extra percent there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, the hydrant.
Taking the hydrant now too, but I believe
you can have 2 hydrants.
Pac-Man you can have 2 hydrants, but you can only have 1 fruit. So if they're able to find this fruit, that was a really creative trap there with that hydrant.
You know, a Wiccan hit the hydrant that was on the ground in the Pac-Man. I thought we were gonna see like a hydrant into hydrant kind of combo. Oh, there, the Pac-Man seeing what happened to his Palutena teammate there, and was very, very aware and managed to shield away from the fishing rod there.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
yeah, once again, the same tricks are not going to work again. However, I lied.
What if you do it again, though?
But what if you tried it one more time, getting that stock secured and cementing the USF lead? And, you know, I don't think Wiccan's done quite yet.
Yeah, do you know what they call that bed? They call it the no mix-up mix-up.
Yeah. I like that. I like
do
that.
it again. You do it again and you find it. I think they were inspired by their past match. I'm like, what if I just keep doing the Hydra? So, okay, but find the Bell smash there.
On the wrong side of stage, so still managed to live, but the Bell is on deck once again, and now in the hands of Pac-Man, even scarier, and that one is, in fact, going to be able to close it out, but still a great showing from Wiccan.
Yeah, because they were able to take a stock there, they do cement the lead for USF, so we're going into this next match at a 9-8 lead, which is definitely what we're looking for. USF is going to have to find a plan for Kip now, which won't be the easiest thing in the world because he's a very strong player. But I think we're happy with our opening here.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. And now, as we said, like the most important thing is we get the counter pick, right?
Exactly.
And that is something when you take in very strong opponents on the other team, and you know, like, oh man, there's one or two people that we really have to be worried about. Then having you get free foresight, right?
Yeah.
And you get to go throw whoever you'd like into that matchup that you have remaining.
And I'm sure our players have definitely formulated a plan for the situation. If we do it, because Kip is someone that you're gonna have to plan for. And Pac-Man as a character there's so many tricks that you have to look out for as Pac-Man because there's so many different mix-ups that they can do with the fruit. It's one of those matchups that you could like study for weeks and you still be finding new things.
Yeah.
So I am wondering if we're able to if the Bulls are able to find someone who is very experienced in this matchup and can shut them down. Hoping for the best on that regard.
Yeah.
But Pac-Man, yeah, very tricky. Something about that matchup that we just watched, Isabelle versus Pac-Man, two characters that really can struggle to kill at times, but if they find the right hit, then it goes early. So
yeah, the Bell smash was really crucial.
Pac-Man, all of his aerials are very weak. So a lot of the time you have to be finding those Bell F smashes or some kind of edge guard to get a truly early kill. Key is okay as well. But I think that Kip there was able to find enough of those kills with the Bell that there was no point where the Isabelle lived to like past 140 or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's part of why they were able to get these leads quickly. But it looks like we are going to be going into our next match. And
we have somebody that is not going to be dying for a very long time. As a matter of fact, we have it is going to be Poobie on that Piranha Plant. We're going to cut to game shortly here in just a moment.
Yeah, Piranha Plant is a character that we very heavy and has a very strong recovery. It's not the best recovery, but you're not going to die early. Usually you're going to be able to make it back. It's exploitable, but you can make it back. So if Poobie is able to hold on to these stocks for a long time, then it could be very promising. But she will have to find a way to play around some of these neutrals because Piranha Plant is not the best at dealing with projectiles in general. Not the fastest character. No like strong reflectors. So weaving around these Pac-Man traps won't be the easiest thing in the world. But if she can hold on to the stocks and find her own setups, then I think that this is definitely we have some good prospects here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the percent lead is very staggering very early, but the stock lead is what's most important. And I do think that Poobie is going to try to hold on as long as she can. Just sit back. You know what I mean? That is a character, and this is a player that is not afraid to grab. Ooh.
Oh, able to get it there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought the get up attack would be coming out, but
yeah, something about Pac-Man. So if he's throwing Bell from his neutral B, like he pulls it from the wheel, it's not the best because it has to go up this weird angle and he doesn't have that much control over it. But if he's able to get a Bell into his hand, it is so strong because he can just control when he throws it. So you get to command so much respect of the opponent, and because it's so strong, and then they're able to find it in the exact situation. But it's not the easiest thing to get his Bell in his hand. So that's something that Pac-Man players are always looking for, is if they can, at a kill percent, if they can get it into the hand and then do something with it. We've seen Kip do that repeatedly throughout this time.
And Kip's been, it's been a little bit more even on this next stock, but Kip still definitely being the one that is finding the majority of these openings with this orange now, and just taking his time, managing to find the Bell in hand, and now we're once again in one of these very, very scary situations for Poobie.
Yeah, doing an excellent job of keeping Poobie on the ledge here to find the projectiles that must be respected. And gonna get the bell in hand, looking for some kind of ledge trap here. But Pubi being very patient here at ledge, but not escaping necessarily. Just resetting.
Yeah. I mean, that's very good for us, I think.
Yeah, got out of the dire straits here, but gonna have to find an opening in neutral here one of these times, because Kip is very content to keep retreating to the corner and pulling more fruit to eventually make something happen. Almost getting the shield break there, not quite though.
Oh, nice back air.
Yes, great find on the back air there, jumping over the hydrant to knock out Pac-Man and taking this stock, getting some damage. Putting a dent in Kip here, but going to do their best to at least hopefully do something with this stock, and then maybe with the next. Pac-Man or Piranha Plant is at a very high percent here, but like I said, Pac-Man not the best at killing unless they find those specific things, and Pubi will be doing her best to avoid any early setups. I say early at 187.
Yeah.
Any setups at all, because you'd be surprised even if Pac-Man gets a backer here, it's very likely to not kill. His aerials are very weak to compensate for how oppressive his projectiles can be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely seeing like a hydrant. You got to be very aware of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
That was take the stock.
Ooh, okay, finding a jab at the ledge, very nice here, and both players going to be down to their last stock, and all of a sudden Pubi now playing a little bit more aggressively and getting a lot of percent for her trouble, and the water. I think the water actually pushed her to the side to the point that it missed.
Yeah, really good stuff here from Pubi, taking an 80% lead, and there are a lot of things from Piranha Plant that can just straight up kill here. She's doing an excellent job of weaving around these projectiles and maybe keeping this lead for the Bulls. It was looking scary for a moment, but I'm very happy with what happened with what she's doing this now. So.
Oh yeah. The combos are coming up, but that's going to be a big downer. Not quite going to find a follow-up. I really like that hydrant, though, but just Pac-Man managing to duck barely underneath. And now Pubi, content to just kind of sit back for a bit, but I think we were seeing some really great things when she was kind of holding in onto the Pac-Man. It seemed Kip was not ready for that.
Yeah, but notice now that she's in the corner, look how much command of the ground Pac-Man can respect to this projectile. She's having to do so much to work around it, and Piranha Plant's not the fastest.
So much percent.
Able to get in here though. Whenever she finds the scrap, she's looking great.
Oh, that's gonna be the Patui coming out, and USF lead is going to still be maintained.
Yeah, we're looking at a 7-6 lead there. I believe that Kip must have tried to parry that Patui because they had the shield up for a moment, but then dropped it, and just misjudging the timing a little bit, and that is going to do it. Spike Ball is Piranha Plant Patui is very strong out of the corner there, and gonna kill at about 130, I believe, which is looking good. Did she have the percent lead there?
Yeah, it was a percent lead for sure, which is obviously even more important when you're playing a heavy character, right? It just kind of feels like you have to do more, obviously. But that last stock was really just it was beautiful. It was really lovely to see that.
That's some of these like matchups where it's a zoner versus a zoner are very interesting because it kind of becomes like which one's more of a zoner, because in that it felt like, I mean, a lot of the time Piranha Plant will be running away from you and using projectiles, but Pac-Man's such like a hardcore zoner that it ended up being like a reversal of the roles there, where Piranha Plant had to find their way in, and whenever she did get in, Pubi did so much damage there. We saw that the very start of that last stock where she got in like once and got some setups and did like 80%. So even if Kip had control of the neutral more often, Pubi's advantage state is so crisp and was able to, and Piranha Plant has some very high damaging moves, and was able to convert enough of a percent lead there and then close it out in the last hit scramble.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, and now we're gonna get to see what Shenandoah is going to counterpick into them. And importantly, as we were saying before, the importance of keeping at least a one-stock lead is even if Pubi loses her first stock before getting anything, we already have gotten something, and that's information.
Exactly.
And now USF is going to see. I believe you declare your starting four for match one.
That's correct.
So they'll have an option of their two players to go into which of the one player, and then they'll be able to formulate a more concrete game plan here, which is a lot more important than it might sound.
Yeah, and there's an interesting dynamic about counterpicking in career battles where if you're going against an opponent with 3 stocks, then you're definitely going to be wanting to worry about making that matchup as good as possible. But if you're against someone with 1 stock, there's kind of a consideration of, am I really worried about taking this 1 stock off of them, or am I worried about getting counterpicked? Because let's say even if you get the first stock off of them, and then you have 3 stocks. If there's someone in the back for them that can counterpick you really, really hard, you might not want to send that. Because there was, when we were playing in Battle for Florida, there was a dynamic there where it was like, well, we could send in Vidon on Shulk to counterpick this person, but then if he wins and has 3 stocks, then it would be they get counterpicked by Anathema, the Rob player.
Yeah,
because that's a really hard matchup. So it's kind of, you don't want to like give them like bait almost. You don't want to throw out anyone. So there might be a consideration on that where if Shenandoah is like, well, our best answer to this Piranha Plant is this character, but I don't want to deal with that counterpick. So we'll see what they end up going with very shortly. I believe the match should be starting now, and it's going to be.
Ooh, okay, and this is going to be what looks like a really, really bad matchup, I feel like, for Piranha Plant, but I think there are a lot of tricks.
Yeah.
And against a light-weighted opponent where we could very well see a snowball, which is obviously what USF fans are going to be hoping for here.
I'm inclined to agree. Pikachu is the sort of character where if they're playing hot and everything's going right, it's like, how do you beat this character? But they are very fragile, very light character, and a lot of their moves don't actually do that much damage per hit. It's only if you get the full combos. So if you can find the trades, Piranha Plant's going to do much more damage per hit.
Okay. What are we? The Battle of the Neutral Bees, I think one of them is a little bit... Okay, yeah, and then Poopy says, you know what, I'm just going to go up here and charge my Poison Cloud.
Yeah, you were just hanging out for a moment there. Patui, a great move, but a lot of the time it does lose to straight-up projectiles like that. So that was a little cute start to the match. But, yeah, like I said, if Poopy can find some stray hits and just trade with this Pikachu over and over, and it's looking very good. And Pikachu also is the sort of character, if they don't find their setups, can struggle to kill, and Piranha Plant can live for a long time. So that's the sort of thing that Poopy's going to be looking for to convert this one.
Yeah, and right there, that's something else that I want to call out about the matchup is that the Tui, if Pikachu tries to rush down and you just have a Tui up, you're just going to trade, and that is almost always going to be in the favor of Poopy. And whoa! Okay,
great.
Yeah,
great find on the dashback F smash there. Not quite going to take it just because of stage positioning, but very happy with that play by Poopy.
Yeah, and that was right after one of the spike balls that I was calling out just barely missed. And I was like, oh no, like, I guess it doesn't always trade out. And then immediately after, Poopy's like, you know what, I think I can still get value out of this position. And, oh, and that's going to be huge for Poopy now. At 133, okay, big up smash attempt from the Pikachu there, but, honestly, I'm not even seeing, like, a real danger for an immediate KO. Okay, those up smashes are going to be a lot more frequent. I think the Pikachu getting a little antsy now. That's the 3rd up smash in as many seconds, it feels like.
Yeah.
Going out, and now Poopy getting the timing down for these jolt parries. Okay, maybe not there, but throw? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. Yeah, no, not even close.
Piranha Plant's weight coming in clutch there. But yeah, exactly. I think in these sorts of situations where you can feel the lead slipping from under you, you really want to find these kills, but at the same time, if you realize that you're only looking for kills,
okay, yeah, and that's gonna do it. Yeah. See, I was getting a little nervous there because of the rage, and Piranha Plant with rage. Like, if there was an F smash coming out on like the side of the stage, that would have just killed.
Absolutely,
like at 46%, it just would have been over. So Poopy doing really, really well, getting the stock, keeping the advantage.
Exactly.
But not, just keeping did her job, right?
Yeah, definitely. Able to, came in on Kip to stop the damage control and able to keep the lead for USF. We should be going into this at, I believe, 6-5.
3. What?
Wait.
No, you're
it's
right.
these 2 stocks in the Pikachu, and then they should have their anchor.
Sorry, you're right.
No
you're
worries,
right.
yeah. So, yeah, same lead as last time because it was 7. I think we've been keeping this 1 stock lead ever since the beginning. Wiccan started us off great with a 2 stock to lead, and then we've been going back and forth with counter picks, but still maintaining this advantage going into the final stretch of this match.
Yeah.
USF should have 2 players left, and we'll do our best to see if we can keep it.
Yeah, director's looking at me like, you can't do math, bro.
We've all been there. But yeah, I think I like our chances here.
Yeah,
and our remaining players for answers for Pikachu, I would like to see Raccoon here potentially. I believe that Mario Pikachu is a great matchup. I think Alias Star could also do quite well. Honestly, I think all of our remaining players could do pretty okay into Pikachu. It just depends on who they think that they need to save for the anchor. Potentially Willie Crescent.
Well,
if I had to guess.
Yeah, that was pretty much what I was going to be talking about. Is we know that we have that player up in the back. So the question now is between our 2 players who we've listed as our starters, who do we think we want into that matchup at the end?
Yeah.
And that is that going to be Mew?
If I
or is
had
that
to
gonna
guess,
yeah.
I want that boy under the truck. I don't know. I think Mew's an incredible
the boy
player.
under the truck.
If we can have any answer into Willie Crescent, I think that Mew's advantage state against a character like Kazi is so strong, and he can definitely make something happen, and is going to be our best chance into that. So for that reason, based on our starters, I believe it would be Aliastar coming in next. If I'm to hazard a guess.
Yeah, and
Aliastar on that Mii Sword Fighter.
And that Mii Sword Fighter, which is again now taking their time to think, maybe drafting up the right. I mean, I guess whenever you played crew battles, you would have a whole bunch of Mii Brawlers movesets on it, right?
Yeah,
that would be how that works, because once you lock in a moveset, you can't change between fighters. But like, if you know, oh, it's most important that I beat this one character, you would be able to.
Exactly,
lock that
yeah.
in. Did you just have like every combination, like 64 or whatever?
There are like 4 that are viable, or at least that I like using.
Okay.
Because you know me, I'm gonna keep Thropper. I'm not switching off Thropper, and I'm not switching off of Feint Jump, the down B.
Yeah,
so it's
that
really
makes sense.
I just switch between the neutral Bs and the side Bs, and I think we saw a lot of them throughout the course of the season.
Yeah.
But that was last season. This is this season, and we're gonna have Aliastar on against the Pikachu for Shenandoah, and we get to see Aliastar in their debut for USF Smash.
Yeah, and this, I believe the Pikachu is Wayne for Life from Shenandoah, coming out now into this matchup. I saw a little bit of warm up on Elite Smash, just getting used to the Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff from Aliastar before we started. And I saw some things that I can't pretend to have watched a whole lot of Mii Sword Fight, not a very common character, but oh boy, I saw some really crazy things from them, but now they're getting put into the blender. Of course, still managing to make it back with that up B choice from them. And, at the end of the day, they're actually going to be in a percent lead, even though it looked like Pikachu was really getting on the...
Yeah, Pikachu has this thing where they can get a lot of hits, but they don't do so much damage a lot of the time. So if you just can find a few things, like a few stray hits like that out of the corner, you can definitely keep up. And Pikachu, very fragile, so if you can find the kill confirms, just not a very heavy character at all. So they can die to some crazy stuff. And Alias are going to do their best to find those. I will say, though, I can't imagine this matchup is great for Mii Sword Fighter. In fact, I bet that might have been why that they were thinking on the counter pick for a little while, is that Mii Sword Fighter does struggle against these aggressive characters that can find their way in, like Pikachu. And I think that might be worry, but they're not making it look too bad. They're able to keeping a very solid percent lead here and hasn't Pikachu in the corner. He's going to look for a kill here.
Ooh, I like that option from both players there. Really trying to find the kill, and Pikachu just going for another up B just to get back to that stage, knowing that Mii Sword Fighter is, not the quickest of the bunch. And wow, I can't believe that dash attack made it through.
Really great find, knowing that the Shuriken of Light there is only does not extend into tumble at close range. It actually gets stronger the longer it's been going for, and they recognize that great. But gonna find the reversal down B there. That's a great move to catch buttons, but tying it up immediately. If we can keep ties, that's kind of okay for the Bulls here. But we're going into this where even if we go blow for blow, it matters so much who takes the first.
Do they have a jump?
Okay.
Yes. It always makes me a little bit nervous there when I see, the blender being put on. And this uppy is, I'm used to a Mii Sword Fighter Baron, who I actually played with on USF Green, like, we're going back like 2.5 years, something like that. But he had a different up B that I'm a little bit more used to seeing on this character. So seeing so much ground to be covered when they're off stage is nice to say, to say the least.
Aliastar, I believe, mostly does use that kind of up B, and it's really interesting because when you're using that up B and the down B that lunges you forward, the burst options on this character are so powerful, and especially online. They've found their way in quite a few times with those sorts of moves. It's just such a big change of pace because you're expecting this rounded sorting game, and then they can just dash in at any moment.
Yeah, that, and along with these B reversals that we're seeing on the Shurikens.
Really great idea to cover the up B to ledge that they've done a few times. Not quite fast enough to catch it though, but I really like the thought process there from Aliastar.
Ooh, that could have been huge. Now we're getting into a little bit of the squeaky bum time, as they say. A little bit spicy from both of these players. They know that this stock is so important in the context of the crew battle, because if USF can make this lead, 5-3, that could be so huge. Any of these up airs will do it, and one of these strong smash attacks, of course. But now the Pikachu maybe getting a little bit nervous, going for that up.
First option. Yeah, Alias are doing an incredible job keeping their opponent in the corner. So much pressure. But not quite a kill yet, Benjamin.
No, not quite. Pikachu managing to get back to the center. We're back to even now. Both characters at about 100%. Now, Aliastar, so many things will kill. That up B didn't look that safe, but managing to not be punished now, and we're content to just throw some projectiles, wait for somebody to make the first mistake. Who is it going to be? Whoever makes the first mistake might just lose their life for it. Both characters going back and forth, content to be patient here. The Pikachu kind of moves in, and Alias Star's going to find the hit.
Uptilt is going to take it at 160 at center stage. I did not even know that move killed, but I guess with that percent against a Pikachu, many things are going to be killing. But wow, that was incredible. It was a question of both of them were taking their time with their projectiles. It was a question of who was going to make the first move, who's going to make a big commitment, and it ended up being the Pikachu, and it did not work out for them. Incredible anti-air from Alias Star to take this and going into a 5-3 lead against what is likely to be the strongest player in the crew battle, Willie Crescent.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what that they needed to do for USF. I am really happy with how we're doing so far.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. I mean, and going into it, you know that you have this player in the back, right?
Yeah.
And you're just thinking we need like a little bit of a buffer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like we know that we're really, really strong. Even if it means we put really, really strong players in front, like this is just how we want to play this. And I think it's just gone perfectly to game plan.
Exactly,
so far.
Yeah. I think they have a very strong player, but I think Mew is also such a strong player. Managing to ranked number 2 at USF last semester under a certain...
Oh, who's ranked number 1? Who's ranked 1?
Some guy, he presses Thrupper.
Yeah, surely he'd be playing right now, right?
Yeah, I would make it unfair, It's like, I gotta give the other team a chance.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. Yeah. So Mew, really good player. Also got ranked in Tampa, I believe, in this last period. Ranked, I want to say 9th in Tampa. Incredible player. If anyone who's seen it before, once he fights that neutral opening, it is a sight to see.
It's beautiful.
I love the way that Mew plays Advantage State. It's like they'll hit him over and over, make like 3 reads that ends in a roller. Cinema.
Okay, but we don't have to worry about Mew right now because we still have our debutant. By the way, it's something that I like to call out a lot of times. This is Alias Star's first appearance for any USF Smash team, and so far has done amazingly, and now has the chance to cement themselves, into the history books with such a strong debut up against this Kazuya from Willie. Now, what can we see here on this stage now? I'm already liking just a little bit of thing, but here is why Kazuya is so scary right off the bat. Not quite getting the sort of death, but you always worry right off the start, and that is looking so scary now.
Yeah.
Can we find our way away from this? Yes.
Sword Fighter has projectiles to keep out Kazuya summons, but just not the fastest character, so you can't run away forever. You just have to hope that your projectiles can find their way in, and then keep the rascal Kazuya out of the way as much as possible. Honestly, keeping up in percents though, they're up on this. If they can take 1 stock, then we're looking good. If they can take 2 stocks, it is an incredible start for USF and an incredible debut for Alias Star. So they're doing great so far. I don't know if I love that down B, but
they got away with it.
To get away with it, yeah.
Okay, yep, and that's just Kazuya for you. I mean, that is going to kill so early, even on this stage, which, honestly, this is the Kazuya stage pick. It makes sense because it's, about as similar to FD as you can get, which is what you really like seeing from, like, the FGC kind of characters. But, with a high ceiling, I don't know if that always benefits him.
Yeah, and I can see why we would go here, because it's likely that Alias Star would have banned FD in town for the flat stages, but then Smashville just to give more space. Because even though you hate the open center against Kazuya, at least you have a lot of space to dash back and use your projectiles and get out of the way.
Oh, going super deep for that? Are we going to find anything? No.
Very unfortunate that Alias Star had to save the Kazuya there.
Oh, that's not quite going to hit. I mean, at 188 now, Alias Star needs to find something, but no, unfortunately. Wow, so close, but there goes the lead, and we're back to even.
Yeah, that down B that I called out earlier that I wasn't a fan of because of how risky it is against Kazuya, got away with it once, but the second time, Willie was not going to let that slide once again, and killing with an up smash out of shield at about 105, I want to say. Yeah,
and Alias Star was doing really well, keeping up with the percents, but the kill move just was not there. Unfortunately, at 188, I believe Kazuya was managing to close out a very crucial stock for Shenandoah, and now we're down to just a simple matchup.
Yeah.
Best of 1, your best guy versus my best guy. Let's see who wins game 1 of this crew battle.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a tough one because on a stage like Kalos, we were talking about how Kazuya is not going to kill us early because of that high ceiling, but then it comes back to bite us when that Kazuya lives to 190, and then Sword Fighter dies at like 70 and 105. So I agree with the choice there. I noticed earlier there was a point where Kazuya was out of resources after that downer by Alias Star, and they could have the Kazuya could have been dead, but in order to recover themselves, Alias Star had to hit him with the uppie, and obviously hindsight is 2020.
Oh, you should have just let yourself die.
If all they wanted to do was get a stock, they could have died with him, but they had a large % lead at the time.
Was Alias Star on 2 stock? It doesn't matter. I mean, we can't dwell on the past. Exactly. Gotta focus on the present. We have this barn burner of a match coming right on up. Gonna be on small battlefield. What have we got? Number 151.
I think that this will be absolutely the sight to see. Inkling is so good at holding advantage state, and Mew is so good at holding advantage state and racking up this damage, but Kazuya only needs a few hits to keep up himself. So we're going to be seeing these players run at each other. Mew does not run away. Absolutely not. Mew is going to be hovering around you like a little mosquito until he makes his move, and then once he does, he will blow you up.
Yeah,
so,
and oh my goodness. I mean, already
look at the score.
Oh, and wow, that bomb was so close to working out, and now, Kazuya does have, his meter full or whatever, but is he going to find anything crazy off of it? Oh, wow, what a tech going back in. It was a little bit scary there for a second, but, Mew managed to do it, and I can't believe that Thunder connected, but Mew finding, his way out of it nonetheless, and this % is so even. There goes the meter there for Kazuya, which is really crucial now. A big kill option. Of course, Kazuya, never really shy on its kill options, but now off stage, what can Mew find? Going super deep for it, finding the up air. I really like that option, but not quite getting the kill, but staying on top of this game now, and that, oh man, just the get off me tool is going to work. First stock to Shenandoah, to Willie, now Mew, just dropping right back on and just swinging. There's no pause, there's no wait, like I'm just going. And there's the roller, and that's going to be the next stock. 0-0, 2 stocks remaining each side. This could not be any closer. No, my God, Mew.
I believe
he's fine. Okay. No.
Got 10% out of it too.
Yeah. Honestly, it just confounded him, and immediately he used it as a mix-up. And now Kazuya at 6-7%, and he's completely yellow. And now Mew is going to be managing to find so much extra damage because of this. Forcing Kazuya to be out of his comfort zone, right?
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks from just like 30 seconds ago in the first stock. Mew had the large % lead, but wasn't able to do anything with it. It tied up very quickly. If they can keep this time, find a kill % before Kazuya is able to do his own things, then it's looking really good going into the final stock. But Willie is going to do his best to hold onto the stock until he finds something. Once again, Kazuya is off stage at 130. If he can find the right thing,
what a bomb!
I believe we should be able to find a back air here. There's no resources.
Oh, and then it comes off, and that's going to be the stock.
Beautiful.
Mew takes a huge lead. Splat bomb and roller, a very broken combo in Splatoon. Also doing the same here in Smash Ultimate. Whoa, what a big hit. Not quite going to be the stock, though. Mew needs to find a little bit of extra credit, though. And there it is.
The grab.
There it is. And there's going to be the roller. Even more %, and even more yellow is going to be Willie here. And there's going to be the... Okay, Smash is going. And now, last stock.
1-1 going
one.
in. South Florida versus Shenandoah. Small % lead for Mew, but he needs to find something bigger. Kazuya's not going to die early. And we need to do our best to keep this and avoid any big hits. Crazy setup out of up smash, up throw into bomb. Willie is going to be at 76%, yet to find a single tick on Mew.
Huge! Is he going to be up smash? Blaster not quite going to do it. Now the meter's full, but Mew has not taken any %. This is how every single stock has gone. There's the splat bomb. Willie's still off stage. Not quite going to find the punish, though, and there's the back airs coming all the way out. Slosher not going to do it either. Going back to a neutral state. That's totally fine here at 150. There's the grab. Back throw. What can we find here? Off to the side. It's going to be forward air. Is that enough?
Is he going to find it? He should be able to find this. Oh, no.
Wow.
Barely able to avoid it. You're never out of the woods against Kazuya. This is so terrifying. But he just...
There's the roller. There's the ink crush.
Let's go, Mew. That is 1 stock to 0 stock coming out. USF taking the first match of this NACE Varsity Premier Game 1 going to USF.
We've been doing this for like a year. That might be the closest, or it might be the best, last game that we've seen in a really long time.
These two teams are very evenly matched. Coming down, USF had a lead steadily throughout the entire match, but then Willie able to tie it up going into against the penultimate match, bring it to 3-3, and it was just a match of the 2 best players in the group battle, and it really could have gone either way.
That's what you want to see.
But yeah,
that's always what you want to see.
That was such a, because in a matchup like that, Inkling is probably better in neutral and is going to rack up the damage. But if you don't find these kills early and you give Kazuya one opening, Willie's able to
It's the DLC privilege.
Just catch up.
That's what we like to say here
that
on
was
this
so
channel.
because it was Mew had a lead and then Willie ties it up. Mew has a lead and then Willie starts tying it up, and we just go into that and able to find the kill early enough. It's so because like if you have that kind of a position against Lucina.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, we're probably fine because I mean, unless they get like 4 reads, Lucina's not gonna make that comeback. Kazuya, it doesn't matter how much of a lead you have against Kazuya. He can do anything.
Yeah, especially someone as talented, as Willie's just gonna be able to always find those openings. It feels like, and didn't matter though.
Yeah,
really finding the early openings on every single stock was just so beautiful to see. And then the closing it out. That's the clutch. That's the clutch gene.
Absolutely. Super clutch by Mew there. But one question that must be asked is USF had a lead there throughout the rest of the match. So Shenandoah's goal there is going to be okay. If we were able to make it that close when they had a lead, what if we have a lead instead?
Yeah, they're going to try to mix it up. Absolutely.
What if some of those stocks in the early matches go a bit different and we go into the end with like a 2-stock lead?
Yeah.
Would it go as well?
Okay, we're gonna cut to a real quick break here as our players, drink some water, get all rested, calm themselves down, and get ready for what is hopefully an even better game 2. We'll catch you right after this. You're not gonna want to miss it.
Go Bulls. Welcome back to USF Smash, everyone. We're going into this game 2 of USF versus Shenandoah. We just came off of a absolute barn burner, in the words of my co-caster Benjamin. Mew versus Willie Crescent went down to the absolute wire, 1 stock to 0 stock, taking it home for the Bulls, but we're not out yet. We have not. We have to clutch up in one of these next 2 matches if we want to take it home. And I like our chances, but it's not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, no, not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew from the beginning what looked like, oh man, we're cruising, we got a good lead going on, and then bam, right at the end, went down to the freaking wire.
Yeah.
And it just, it's one of those matchups where you know that you're never out of the woods. You're always sweating just a little bit, and you're just trying to make as much of a difference as you can. Every single game feels so monumentally important.
Yes. But now we are back to a true even. Not just so it feels like even, but we're onto these 12 stocks versus 12 stocks, and we no longer have starters to work with. So we started with it was our 4 players versus their 4 players that were locked in ahead of time, but now it's unbound. Shenandoah can send any new players that they think would make a difference in this match that they narrowly lost. So we might the USF could send out the same four players, and Shenandoah could send out the same four, but there's any wrenches could be thrown in the plans to shake up the. Yeah, either way. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm expecting to see USF probably, we'll probably go for the same lead. We'll see if Shenandoah, I think seeing whether they go for the same lead or not really tells a lot.
Yeah.
Because it tells the difference of, oh man, like I think we had a little bit of a rough game plan and we need to mix things up. Or it basically says, we know that we should have won that. Yeah. We're going to come back and we're going to execute better than we did last time. And we're going to clean up shop, And I think I had a lot of respect for that mindset either way.
Yeah. Because, on paper, the matchup that Shenandoah pulled on the lead, Isabel Palutena, it's certainly fine for Palutena. Palutena's definitely good enough aerials, definitely good enough movement to work their way in. But that was the only, I guess that was one of the two where it was like a two-stock swing.
Right,
because Wiccan started with a two-stock lead, and then they were able to tie it up later with Willie Crescent versus Alias Star. But other than that, it was like back and forth the whole time. So I could see a case for Shenandoah going, look, they cemented the lead at the very beginning, and they're probably going to do it again. So maybe I tried a different lead. It could really go either way, but maybe their player Ice has some kind of read, some inkling for what they did wrong, and is going to try to shout out to you. Yeah, shout out to me.
But it is one of those things where last time we saw Isabel getting 3 KOs with the fishing rod. Yeah. It's just something like, okay, if I just look out for that, then hopefully we'll be a little bit different. But we are in fact going to be seeing the same exact matchup. Can Wiccan find that same follow-up that he did in the first match? Can he do even better?
Yeah, let's see if we can do the same thing. I like you said, I do respect this mentality by Shenandoah saying, hey, our plan was good. Our only problem was just the certain kills didn't go the right way, and just going to try to switch it up. They saw Kip dealt with it much better with that instant neutral get up shield and punished Wiccan a few times for that. So I wonder if we're going to see that. I wonder if there was some kind of coaching in between the match. The Kip's like, hey, you can just do it this way. But once again, starting out at least, Wiccan once again racking up a % lead.
Yeah, I think Wiccan's playing even more aggressively than he did at the start of Game 1. Game 1, you don't know anything about the opponent. You're just you're testing out the waters, right? But now, he's saying, I played you before. I know what you're made of. I know what I'm made of.
Oh, my goodness.
I really like the setup there, but it just didn't quite come out.
I was sure that Wiccan was just going to back up and go for the same fishing rod again, but he's not going to wait for Palu to make the adaptation. He's going to pull out new things every time. I really love to see that. That very creative play didn't quite work out. Now we are going to see backup and fishing rod.
And then the fishing rod not going to work that time, yeah.
Yeah, he learned from his teammate that you can just neutral get up shield, and a lot of the time it's a great tool. But once again, if he can find the fishing rod in time before Palu even has a chance to get there.
Oh, and Palutena was so worried about the fishing rod, just completely missed the ledge. That was not just a complete SD for no reason. It was definitely because of the fishing rod putting on insane amounts of pressure and the conditioning from the previous game. We're going back to a different, how many games ago was that in the crew battle? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. It's a really interesting dynamic in crew battles because you're not just adapting within a set because there is no adaptation in a set. So they're all
oh, and there's gonna be another stock.
Oh my goodness. Commanding so much respect on this ledge there. Palutena tried to go lower to avoid the edge guards, but just flubbing a little bit there, and once again building up a great lead. We're poised once again for potentially a 2-stock lead out of the opening. Exactly what USF wants to see, but we'll have to convert as best as they can. Wiccan's not even really at kill percent yet, are they?
No, not really. And I think that it's very obvious in the way that Wiccan is playing, still holding forward, saying, you know what, it's working. I'm not going to mix it up just because I'm at a high percent, and I see the potential for a 3-stock. Dare I say it?
Yeah.
I'm still going to be playing to my game plan. I think that this is my best chance to take your stock before you do any nonsense. Now Wiccan probably very much at kill percentage now as these, flame bursts coming out from Palutena, and now Wiccan just getting the stage immediately there.
Yeah, so much stage control right now. This Palu is respecting so much.
Oh, that's a great back air.
Great find. Palutena's armored aerials are so good into Isabel sometimes, and able to find Wiccan being a bit of aggressive out of the corner. But this is a pretty daunting lead, isn't it?
Yeah.
definitely going to take the game. It's just the question of if Palutena, if Eyes is going to be able to take this stock before Wiccan can convert and make this lead palatable for Shenandoah. It's not going to be easy. Wiccan does have a great lead here. And
there it is. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Managing to find it once again, an 11-9 opening, and that one felt even more dominant. I think Wiccan's going to be even more ready for this potential Pac-Man counter pick that we saw last time. I see no reason why we wouldn't see it again. Last time Wiccan, I think, just took the one stock.
Yeah.
And, was not even particularly close to another one, and it felt like a really, really dominant play from Pac-Man. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that, whether he, once again, like you said, tries to grab the fruit and then just not take it out or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I wonder if that might be an adaptation in between. Yeah. But like you said, Wiccan kind of gets known for being a pretty defensive player. I think he gets conned a little bit for running away, but he was really when he chooses to scrap, he's got a lot of game sense. He really was getting a lot out of getting in there. Isabel up tilt so strong. A lot of these neutral scrambles. Yeah. He really does have a sense for that. Yeah. And I think that if he plays into that against Pac-Man, keeps his head in the long range and is able to work his way in, and then once he does get in, and I think that he definitely has the chops to keep a two-stock lead potentially.
I know Vidal was watching that, just like punching the air, like no way.
Because like I mean He's
holding forward.
He plays his owner. Like there's no doubt about that.
A zoner? I mean, I think I could on like all my hands.
Or if you count the DDD.
Yeah,
but I don't.
He played it in tryouts.
Yeah, he did.
He did play it in tryouts.
Didn't he go undefeated with the DDD?
I think that is exactly what happened. Yes. So maybe another week we'll see the Wiccan DDD come out.
Yeah. King. Oh God.
Does he have any other tags?
I think he ran like Nihil once. It was like there's no
funny puns.
Yeah.
That's all
right. We are going into the next match.
And it is Kip once again.
Yeah.
And it is going to be Pac-Man versus Isabel. Shoutouts. Okay, obviously I think I'm gonna jinx it right here, but shoutouts to both teams for the first week of there being crew battles. Nobody has forgotten like SD at the start of every match, and I swear that happens like every time, and it's like, oh jeez.
I am certainly guilty of that. I play Meat Brawler. I want to go hit you, and I'm like, oh no, yeah. So, but I agree. Very, very good stuff. We have the exact same line, don't we? The Isabel versus Palutena, and then the two-stock, and then this counter pick here. But even if it looks on paper the same, there's definitely adaptations being made at every moment. We're going to do their best to change this and keep an even bigger lead going into this next one. I believe that's on Bell or Key, one of the two. Okay, here it is.
Okay, now it's Bell.
Very wrong. Yeah, now it's Bell. Not quite at kill percent even from Bell F smash. But now it might be.
Ooh, that's the up smash. Not quite going to do a good DI. I don't think it was in particular danger, but the percentage tacking on is, of course, very important. And also, the F smash isn't going to be the one that's stale. It's going to be the up smash, which is probably a little bit less obvious to hit. Oh, that's a Pac-Man combo for you.
Yeah, very good recognition by Kip there. Bell back air definitely would not have killed, and Bell F smash would have been too high. But just the side beat is a great find there. But keeping it respectable here, just barely missing that fishing rod. There was no shield out, but just not quite there. And as long as we can go back and forth, I think Wiccan is being a little passive there, because if you always run in against Pac-Man, it's very difficult because you're probably just going to get smacked by a Hydrant. But you just have to have controlled pressure against a character like this to find your way in to where he's weakest, but not run into the traps that are set along the way. Easier said than done. But, has the Galaga in hand. That was a very weird track that it took. He's barely got hit in the second stock here.
Yeah, the first stock was okay. That was.
I don't love that fishing rod.
The first stock was really like, and the second stock looking kind of, getting a feel for it a little bit better and managing to getting hit by that Hydrant there. Now we're getting a little bit in trouble there. That's going to be charged, which is going to do it, and that is going to be the difference between this crew battle and the last. Kip not losing a stock this time around.
Absolutely.
Even though it was still a two-stock lead, immediately getting eliminated, and now we're back to even, but with the counter pick in hand.
We do have the counter pick in hand, but I don't know if we have the strongest answer. Pubi is likely to get sent out once again, but I mean, Poopy kept the lead, but it wasn't the prettiest.
No, yeah, and we saw
on last
Poopy
one.
was doing better when she was holding in.
Yeah.
A bit similar to what we saw from Wiccan, just, two of maybe our more stally players on USF Gold, forced to play a little bit outside of their comfort zones, but getting rewarded for that. So we'll see if that's maybe the
Yeah. That's the interesting thing with Pac-Man is, like, short of maybe Sonic, maybe Steve, no one's outstalling Pac-Man.
Steve, I mean, come on.
No one's outstalling Pac-Man. I've seen Pac-Man Steve sets. Pac-Man Steve approaches in that matchup.
Yeah.
Like, because Pac-Man will just, like, even Steve could get all the diamonds in the world, but if you can't find your way in with all the stubby hitboxes and that slow airspeed, Pac-Man can just, like, camp you out. And, like, Pac-Man's such a hardcore zoner that we're seeing these players that are traditionally going to be hanging back, like, have to find their way in. And I think Piranha Plant is capable of doing that just because of how damaging a lot of the raw hits can be. But once again, yeah, I think especially if we go to a big stage, I believe, didn't this Poopy versus Kip, it happened on PS2 last time, didn't it? Or where were we?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Because I don't love Wiccan going to PS2 in that last set, because the thing is, PS2, it's neutral, but it's just a long stage. I believe it's the second longest in the game after Callus, and maybe Town as well. So you can't really, like, run away, or you can really run away is the problem. And we're on another long stage. Like, the thing is, having to go so far to get in as Piranha Plant here, it's like, it's going to be so easy for Kip to dash back. Like, he's going to throw this projectile, and if he ever gets, like, in a dicey situation, he'll just run away and then start going through. And obviously he can do that everywhere, but it's easier to get in on, say, SBF.
Okay, no, we're fine. We weren't at a high enough percent.
Lingering hit of the F smash is still able to keep them in disadvantage. I think the big challenge against Pac-Man is oftentimes playing around the bell, because he really is truly strapped for kill options if you're not allowing these bells to be found. But I think it's such a difficult move to play around because he can throw whenever he wants and still has access to all of his other moves. So good find for Poopy there to jump in a little too early to even get smacked by the bell, but down quite a bit on percent. If you can find a raw hit, then a raw kill, then it's excellent. But gonna need a little bit more hits to even get the position.
Yeah, that's been the story of this game so far. It took a really long time for her to even land a single hit. Being at 46 is honestly not bad given where we were 15 seconds ago, it feels like. Now off stage once again, and Pac-Man gonna have the bell, just looking so scary there. But okay, trying to grab it again, but actually missing.
Yeah.
Which is actually gonna be quite the reprieve, I think, for Poopy. But Poopy not quite taking the initiative to run in, but yeah, that's why, because of the hydrant right there coming in super clutch.
Yeah, and if you get that much control, then Pac-Man can throw it like that and get bell in hand.
Yeah.
And throw it in just like a setup like that, just completely forget him so well. He wouldn't be able to do that if he only had it from the neutral slot. But once you get in the hand, you have so much more control. It's so difficult to play around.
There's the good back air into the downbeat now. That is exactly kind of hits that we need to see from Poopy if we want to, keep this one interesting here, because it is looking real bad.
Yeah, I mean, it only takes a few hits, because Pac-Man not the best in disadvantage. We're
gonna be here for 8 minutes.
I hope not.
How are you doing today? The platform.
Okay, yeah. Now that the ledge is in play, I think maybe the players just didn't want to deal with that platform. I think Poopy might have been stalling out the platform because he was like, I would rather deal with the top stage, which sensible, I suppose. Yeah, it's getting a lot of percent. And like I said, Town and City. If you have to get in like you do as Piranha Plant in this matchup, I don't love giving Pac-Man like the biggest stage in the game. To run away with.
Ooh, and last time it didn't kill, but this time it is. And that's going to be another stock now for Kip. And now just really running away with it, showing, his mettle that he really didn't get to do in game 1.
Yeah, Kip is really making the difference here in this. Like I said, it's the exact same lines, the exact same matchups that happened so far.
Ooh, there we go. That's exactly what we needed to see from Poopy. A little bit of life being shoved down, CPR being done, and now USF is, Poopy getting a few more hits now really fast. Now that's exactly the kind of momentum shift that we needed.
Exactly.
And now we really need this next stock to be taken, I think.
I think the more chaos is happening right now, the better Poopy is. Because when it's looked grim so far, it's when Pac-Man's at long range and just, like, chuck more through.
It's okay.
Yeah. Just more setups out of Bell. It is truly a hard move to play around, but at some point, I think like all 5 of the kills we've seen so far have been out of Bell.
Yeah.
You have to find an answer. Just jumping in against Pac-Man when he has Bell is so risky because that's just the trajectory it sends at. And one interesting, there are some very interesting ways to play around Bell. One I was talking about is pocketing, which I don't really know if we saw from Wiccan fully. If you stand under a platform against Pac-Man, because of the trajectory it sends out, this isn't true for Bell in hand, but Bell out of neutral B, because it sends up like that, if you're under the platform and he throws it, it's going to go above you, and then like it doesn't go through. So that's one, but that's not a thing on Town because of how Town is. You can also, there's a tech that I don't know if our players know about. Crouch canceling. If you crouch cancel Bell, it stuns. The stun gets reduced dramatically, so he basically doesn't have time to do.
You gotta run over there, mid-side coaching.
The
have them pull the stream.
Coaching.
Yeah. Please.
But so like there are ways to play around Bell, but if you're just jumping in like that, which I get it because you have to get in on Pac-Man, but that's why I talked about controlled pressure. Because if you're like, oh, I have to get in on Pac-Man, I have to jump over the hydrant. That's what he wants you to do. He wants you to to get antsy, to make it for something to happen, and then he punishes that, and he'll suck the soul out of you over and over because he'll do 30% per interaction where you try to get in, and then eventually kill you with Bell into F smash or Bell into side B.
Right.
It's if you don't have speed, it is a very frustrating character to fight. But our player, you know what you're getting into. You have to be in for the long haul and get in very carefully and play around his quite limited kill options because Kip hasn't been struggling to kill.
No. It was the Bell, like you said.
But it's because of the Bell. If you don't have Bell, what do you have? You have occasionally you have interesting setups.
Hydrant jank.
Yeah, hydrant jank. Back air is killing at like what? Like one. Even at the ledge is not killing to like 140. It's a very weak back air. Like key maybe, but he's so limited at killing if you're playing around Bell, and it's easier said than done. But our player, you have to come up with an answer.
Well, the answer for USF now is going to be Alias Star on this Mii Sword Fighter that we saw last time. It'll be interesting. I'd expect to see the same moveset, but between games, you really don't know for sure. And this is going to be, I believe, 2 stocks, from Kip, right? Which is on a tear. He's taken 5 already.
Yeah, and only lost 1. To my knowledge, Alias Star always runs that up B, the Skyward Splash Dash, but they do switch between the different side Bs. Sometimes they run Shock Drum, and sometimes they run the Gale Stab if they need more recovery or they need more burst offers. And we do see the Gale Stab. I believe in the last match it was Shock Drum, but another tool to recover is the main utility. It's like Ike side B if it was even better, is the way I would describe that Gale Stab, because it's so much less laggy, and you can use it to approach much more effectively. And retreat to ledge like that, that looked like a misinput. It was intentional.
Yeah, no, I could tell immediately after we went to ledge, but in the second that we had, it was like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
Yeah. So, large percent lead coming out for Kip once again. I think they might have found their mojo here, and it is this.
Oh wow,
this nickel
that is
and diamond.
Crazy. Really good orange there coming out multiple times just as a buffer. I'm putting something between myself and you, so your burst options aren't going to work, and it's going so well for Kip. USF, not finding any luck into this Pac-Man, into this game too.
Yeah, it's before we had a lead, but it was always very back and forth. Right now, it's not looking great for USF, and we've already tried all of the people that we thought were counter picks. So it's like it's a little scary, right?
Because that's the other thing. Like, the counter pick was Fubi Toronto Planet, right? Like that's what we chose at the start, and even if things go awry here, there's always a game 3, a little bit more adaptation.
Yeah. I will call out, that was a great play around the F smash there. Like, they were going for the Bell F smash, and Alias Star just rolled through and punished that. I really like that idea, but it's...
Ooh, nice grab.
It could be too little too late, especially because Pac-Man wasn't quite at kill percent for that F smash. that they did get to
High percent snap from both players now. As you said, Pac-Man struggling to kill. We're really going to need... I really do think that's a funny option from Bub. He not quite going to get hit, and now a Hydrant just, you know, coming in clutch, just even more buffers, right? And it's just really making the Shurikens, just like everything is just really struggling.
Yeah, I'll call out once again. I don't know what Kip is banned, but I really don't know if I like going to PS2 against Pac-Man. Now, unless you have a very good reason for it, like I would go to PS2 against Pac-Man because me rolling.
What?
But
what? That was ridiculous. What even was that? That was ridiculous.
So something happened, but all I'm seeing, unfortunately, is 84 in Nintendo's favor. Hopefully Alien Story is able to close this out. But like I said, like if you know you have to get in, if that's going to be the game plan, why would you allow Pac-Man to go to such a long stage? It seems strange to me.
Yeah, between games 2 and 3, you go over there, give him a piece of your mind.
Yeah. So, weird little interaction with Hydrant. Pac-Man is?
Yeah, wow. We're just playing a little bit defeated, you know. I think we're just kind of in our own heads a little bit. But I mean, full credit to Kip here, absolutely putting on the most dominant display that we've seen here in a long time. I mean, that is a brutality. You know, that's 8 stocks now in this crew battle alone, and now going to have a chance to go into what I can only assume is going to be Mew in the anchor once again. And Mew with a mountain to climb, 8. He has to take 8 stocks. He has to do what Kip just did, and also beat Kip in the process of doing so, and also beat Willie. Like, you know, it's just looking, it's looking real rough.
It's a lot. Yeah. Like, I think Mew is capable, but the fact that he wasn't being sent into Kip earlier implies to me that he might not be the most confident in this matchup. Plus, he was the plan for Willie.
Yeah, that was kind of
the other thing. Yeah. So he could keep this. Maybe this is data, because maybe if this really is like, if he like wipes the floor with Willie or with Kip, then maybe they rejigger and try to find another plan for Willie. That's possible. So we at least get data out of this, even if winning the game is probably it would be too little, too late. If we can at least see how Mew does here, but what can you say? I mean, Kip really found his mojo, is able to take these long stages and just go trade for trade, go pop the hydrant or the fruit, and play all the mix-ups after that. And our players just haven't been able to find an answer to it yet, especially if you're dying to Bell at 110 every time. So, all credit to him though. He knows
oh man,
his it is a hard game plan to crack, no doubt about it. I'm like saying things as if like, oh, what are my players thinking? But it is not so easy. If I was out there, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it either. So,
but we are going to see Mew on the Inkling that we know and love once again, a yellow v yellow battle, which I like to see. And he's gonna hopefully show the rest of the team how it's done. And whether he goes any further beyond that, I'm not sure. But I think for a moral victory, it would be very nice to see Mew take this one.
I agree. Yeah, he's gonna find his way. See, look at that. He didn't. The nice thing is that our other players are playing fairly slow characters. Inkling is not at all slow. Inkling is able to get in before Pac-Man has time to get his setups, because when you found that opening just now, Kip was in the process of setting up his wall, setting up his hydrant, and then the projectiles around it. But Mew was able to just run him down, and that's something that he has the luxury of doing that Saber Veronica wasn't able to do. Yeah. So Kip is able to find Bell in hand.
Oh, we're getting hit by the splatter shot there.
I have played many a set against Mew where I'm like, surely I can find a way against the splatter. He's just holding it, I can jump over it. But it is so much control, he can angle it so high that
oh, wow.
Yeah, but luckily Mew is in the air, so he wasn't able to get an F smash. He had to settle for that back air. But this could go either way still. I think, especially if he can avoid the bell. Good late time.
Yeah, I mean, this is so many straight hits are going into the favor of Shinto here, and it's just you doing really well to keep up though. Wow, I really like that forward air. It's just kind of a get out for me too. Was going in. Yeah, wow, that's gonna be a first off down.
Yeah, just raw back air at 157. Which, I mean, if you can lift at 170, 157 every time, then it's looking good. But yeah, I think so many of these neutral interactions are going in the way of Kip. It's such a hard character to get in on, and when they're someone like Kip is so good at playing all of these mix-ups effectively, that because you feel so desperate to get in, that it causes you to like your approaches have to be a bit more predictable almost. That's the zoner's dream, right? The whole like thesis of a zoner is you have to get in so then I can punish the things that I know you have to get in. I do really like the way that he I think he went through the hydrant. I don't know if he dashed through it or if he rolled through it. That was very weird.
I'm not really sure. I mean, it is very obvious that this roller is absolutely doing nothing into this hydrant.
Yeah.
Still trying it anyways, though. Like, it's just such an important tool, but the roller is really just full counter.
Yeah. Ooh. He going through everything, barely able to survive, but it's pretty grim.
Yeah,
in terms of score, and I don't think I was hoping for our players' sake that me would end up being like the silver bullet, would able to just do so well in the kip, and then we can refund the game. But it's not. Yeah. I think. How many stocks did you get since kip?
Oh, and there's the roller. Oh, wow, into the up air. What a roller hit.
Very creative.
Best roller hit I've seen.
Yeah, that was because he didn't mean to go off the stage, but it's great that he was able to improvise and find the kill even in that situation. It's like
down to the last stock.
Lucky to say, yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna forget the first stock. Everything's down to just this.
Yeah,
and then ignore the two full players in the back.
Still get as much data as you can. Maybe if you can find a way in on these traps that say just back airing now, which honestly not a terrible idea because back air would be able to trade with a lot of projectiles. It's so safe. But you know, Kip is always going to be able to back up and set up more things. And, he might struggle to kill, but I don't think Pac-Man does not at all struggle to do damage. So many, like the hydrant does so much. Any of the setups, if he gets like a Galaga at the right moment, those just do like 60. So Inkling does a lot of damage, but Pac-Man doesn't exactly struggle to keep up. So it's hard.
Yeah, it was just really, really a brutal one, you know, and it's just one of those things where, you know, the writing has been on the wall for a bit now.
Yeah,
and you're thinking about the next match, right? Like, there's a part of you, you're sitting back, like...
I'm sure that they're game planning right now. They're thinking, what can we do?
Ooh, that was the water physics coming out on the bell, which I always love to see that. I think that's like one of the sickest Pac-Man clips when they hit something like that.
Yeah, the thing is with Pac-Man, like, he is like this hardcore zoner that's frustrating to play, but when they find their setups, he is like he has so many things. Like there's so many like tricks that they go for, especially. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Not dragging this on any longer than it has to go, I think.
Yeah.
This is, you know, not the worst. And then going to be a Shenandoah victory, very, very dominant in comparison to that. Kip taking, what is that? How many stocks?
It was.
Oh, he took 11.
Yeah, I took 11.
Yeah, I took 11 stocks. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
11 out of 12 down to the Pac-Man. That is so, so impressive. And now back to the drawing board for USF.
It's kind of, I like it. It's kind of interesting that Shenandoah's two best players are, it's the Pac-Man and the Kazuya, which are just so polar opposites,
yeah.
Because if you hear Kazuya took 11 stocks in a carew battle,
you're like, oh, yeah, all right, whatever.
You're thinking, oh,
like,
he hit him 11 times and got 11 stocks. But like, it's like you're out, like, it's like Kazuya does it like, he's out there with a bang, and then Pac-Man, it's just like soul-sucking, honestly. Like losing, it is not to downplay any of what Kip's doing. It's very impressive, but it is very frustrating to just get nickel and dimed for that many stocks in a row. So USF is going to have to find an answer there. Because they're able to take that first game, they have some buffer. They have time to come up with a new plan for Kip, but he will be back and he will be charging fruit.
Yep. So stick around. We're going to cut to a real short break, but you're going to want to be there for the USF revival for this Game 3. You're not going to want to miss it.
I have no doubt that our players will be doing their best to find up with a new plan, and I think that they can do it.
Let's go, Bulls.
Let's go, Bulls.
I'll go just alone. I can't stop scratching my mind. I gotta keep asking why. Stop telling me all the time everything will be fine. I can't stop scratching my mind. I don't know. Not your guardian. I can't see through your skin. I'm not your guardian. I can't see through your skin. Can't see through my skin. Everything will be fine. Stop scratching my mind. I don't know. So I'll go.
All right, welcome back for what is going to be an amazing Game 3. Game 1, right down to the wire. Game 2, a little bit less so.
Yeah, a certain Pac-Man came and took 11 stocks.
Well, but that's
which,
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that in between USF definitely formulating some plans. I'm sure there was the Pac-Man like war room down there. They're like, how do we deal with this bell and how do we deal with this hydrant?
Yeah.
So we're going to be coming in with some new strategies. I'm sure if we're not coming with new strategies, then.
Well, okay.
But I know we definitely will have some ideas for how we can deal this incredible player. But the thing is, it's not just Kip. Willie did not have to show his face in that last match, but
No.
that guy is definitely a threat. I believe took it would be 4.
Yeah, it
in
took
the
4
first
last
match.
time, which is, honestly nothing to,
Nothing to, yeah. I mean, two
but
off
two
of
of
you,
them
though.
from you is, yeah, okay,
two off
there you
of-
go,
so,
there you go.
So yeah, exactly. And we know that he's a very scary player. But priority number 1 is how can we get back into this position where we only we can neutralize the pick Kip on Pac-Man before it gets too much like that. So I think that we will have some ideas, and we'll just see what USF can come up with to turn it around, make it look more like that game 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe even better. Maybe we get like a 3-stock lead, and then
that is something that
I would love
we
to see it. So-
had talked about before, because it did really feel like that Wiccan was doing so well in that opening. We're going to see, like, is there going to be an adjustment from either side? And sure enough, we're going to see at the very least a character adjustment. I'm not sure actually who plays Corrin on the roster of Shenandoah, but
Yeah.
Wiccan.
If I had to hazard a guess, this might be Eyes, the Palutena player, because it is kind of on brand, right? The Palutena, Roy, Corrin. I mean, it's like these like sorties that are high tier, low top tier. But I could be wrong. Maybe this is one of their players. But it's kind of a lot of the same thing. I think Corrin is quite good against zoners, able to get in with the large aerials. But Wiccan has already shown that against this sort of playstyle, and if I'm right, then this player, then he's able to scrap with the best of them.
Really fishing for the fishing rod there, as we saw so many times in that first game, and a little bit in the second game as well. But they're a little bit too wise to that now that we've come down to game 3.
Yeah, it's kind of Palu versus Corrin. Like, Palu has great aerials, but they're not like so big, right? They're not able to control as much space. Corrin's like aerials are just like so massive, and you don't have to like get into the range that is like a hit. Like, you can just actually space around it. So I think it's a little bit easier to maybe find a way in on these projectiles. But yeah, we're gonna be definitely looking for all of those fishing rods. Also, we saw earlier, the side B is a very interesting anti-projectile tool for Corrin, because it goes through the side B, the fair and the bear, the slingshots. So if they can find the right spot there with the side B and catch Wiccan's swing, then they can just armor through and kill him very early.
Yeah. Ooh, and that's a really good snipe there. And we've seen so many of these. I thought that one was going to hit, and there's going to be the up air coming out. He tried to do a lot of fishing rods out of the hydrants, but the percentages are actually fairly even, which is a little bit different than what we saw before, where Wiccan was very, very dominant in his opening game, and honestly, it felt like he needed to win like 2 stocks, by the end of it. But this time it's looking super close, and Wiccan's really gonna need to lock in if he wants to continue, his really strong advantages that he's had.
Yeah, I think it's looking good here. If he can hold on to the stock for long enough, then we are racking off 100%, and I think he's doing it. He does a great job of like capitalizing on it.
Just to be very dangerous, and yep, there it is. Just waiting for the shield poke to come through, and that is going to be a very big stock for Shenandoah. Now 64% now is not really going to be that close to a kill, so a little bit more work to be done.
Yeah, and last time we saw the Corrin player play around fishing rod well enough that Wiccan had to find a kill at 160, which allowed them to make a bit of a comeback. If he can find any of these setups into fishing rod that he loves to find, then we could swing it early. This might be... Ooh.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that the fishing rod didn't hit. It makes sense that Corrin made it back to ledge.
Oh,
but that's going to be the jab. Oh, wow. And it just wasn't quite enough. And now, getting a huge snipe there. And that's going to be the fishing rod. Going for a forward throw. I thought it was going to be up throw, but it still managed to find the kill. Very nicely done. Now 24%, and that is going to be completely lapped in percents. Wiccan is now on pace. I repeat, Wiccan on pace for the 2-stock once again.
Yeah, it's looking great here. Able to find the early kill. Once it's this big question of against Isabel. It's kind of similar to what we were talking about with Pac-Man. If you can find the one move that kills really early, then you're golden, because your neutral is so strong in a lot of the other things. If the opponent can find a way to play around that exact move, then they really do struggle. In the first stock, they did play around it, but sent off just far enough off stage that he had to go in that route.
you know, now the percentage is creeping up a little bit. This is so important that we know, and there's going to be a couple foreigners off the side. That's going to do it. Wicken has done it once again, the third 2-stock in a row to start these matches up, and now the hard part begins. He needs to convert this advantage into even a little bit something more going on.
I am absolutely expecting to see Pac-Man come out. They've shown it twice, and it's worked.
Yeah.
I think that if Wicken can find a new answer, if he can find some of these pockets, the pocket pocketing the bell, that's a great answer. If he can play it around in other ways, then we're golden, because we're in this position again. I really like, because we've been talking about Wicken doesn't always approach. He's a bit of a heavy player, but when he turns it up, when he does something like that, that's such an aggressive play. I'm fully expecting him to run back, throw the fishing rod, and do the ledge trap or whatever. But he found an opportunity. He noticed that the Corrin was a little kind of slacking on the route that they were covering back, and he finds the double fair.
But that's because of the fishing rod. You know, it's not even just they're slacking for the sake of it. Like, that is conditioning at its finest. Absolutely. I know that if I do go for this option and I kill you with it a few times, I know you're going to have to start adjusting your approach. Okay, how do I beat that? I already know that's what you're going to go for, so I can be there that much faster and be there to clean up shop.
And that's the beauty of fighting games, isn't it? It's this, you do one thing, someone responds to it, and then you respond to what they're responding to. When you see that sort of thing, like, unfold in front of you, it's so beautiful. I mean, that's why I love fighting games. Like, the way that the back and forth in a 1v1 game happens is just like, it's so cool. It's one of the most, like, because I mean, like, in Smash, you know, it's like just Nintendo characters running at each other and fighting. But like when you see the inner game of it, the back and forth, I love to see it. So
yeah.
And here we are.
And here it is, the battle of grit, the battle of will.
Will we adapt?
Will we adapt? Yeah. And here it is. Not will we adapt into Willy. Will we adapt into Kip? And it's going to be the Pac-Man coming out. We're going to be cutting to that shortly as they go for the SD. We need to cut to game.
Production.
And yeah, so it is going to be Isabel versus Pac-Man. As we were saying before, nothing. You not missed anything. Don't worry. There's 2 hydrants on the field. Whoa!
Oh my God,
that almost was a shield break.
That's so terrifying. Yeah. So we are on PS2, but I think that's more acceptable for Isabel, because Isabel is willing to play the long game, and especially if they can take away the fruit, then actually prefers probably going on stage, because then it would almost be.
There's the key.
Yeah. The hydrant.
Tastes better than bread.
We got more hydrants. Oh my.
Oh, and there's some hydrant drink.
I didn't.
You
kind of got forced to approach, huh?
Yeah.
Like, in that.
There's the key again.
Yeah. So. Like I said, like, the more chaos is happening, I think the better off we are. Kip is at his best when he has his exact position that he's done thousands of times, where he has a mid-range with a hydrant and a fruit.
I think 2 hydrants is so funny.
If we're scrapping like this, then I think that Wicken's in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, and he has the percent lead, and he's even getting even more openings here, and I'm just really, really loving it. I think this was probably our best chance, you know, into like finding something different to the Pac-Man as before, you know? There's going to be fishing rod. Whoa, really, really close. I really like the jump read there, too. Not quite going to come out, but once again, you know, just putting that into the back of his mind, and, you know, Bell missing, side B missing, you know, Wicken staying alive here. And not only staying alive, honestly thriving.
Yeah, no one's had a percent lead against Kip, like, initially. Like, he's just getting these scraps where he's definitely seems to be stronger here.
Oh, and that's going to catch it, and forward throw is going to get the first stock.
Great find by Wicken there. That move usually has armor, but a move like that, a grab like that, is just going to be able to break through it. It doesn't matter how armored it is, because you just throw it and then they die. If Wicken can find these where they're forced to a certain recovery route, then he is definitely in a great spot, and proving it here. Taking this 3 to stock lead here.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite able to.
I thought it would be up smash range, but not quite.
Yeah. So
yeah, just all of these forwarders are just so difficult for this Pac-Man. Pac-Man now holding forward. We never saw this from Kip before.
His hand has been forced.
His hand's been forced. Really good recovery there underneath, you know, making sure there was no Bell shenanigans to be had. And now, I mean, you know, the fact that Wicken has, you know, these 2 stocks means, you know, if he could take 1 more, that would be so phenomenal. He failed to take even 1 last time, and now the key coming out, still managed to live 172. Now the key coming out once again. I'm sure Kip is expecting that to throw. Oh, okay, the hydrant managing to find the clip, but I mean, this is still a really, really good spot for USF. You know, Wicken's done his job already. Anything else is just unsettling Kip. You know, I think he really managed to find his rhythm, right? That was you know, obviously taking all of those stocks in a row, you need something that was nasty work there. But
him finding his setup there and doing 70, yeah. But it's like the call I've been making this whole time is Pac-Man truly does struggle to kill if you can play around the belt, and Wicken did that quite well and lived to about 180. If he can do that once again, then we're in a great spot.
Ooh, okay, the Hydrant sending to the right instead of the left. That could have been a really, really interesting up air mix-up, but not quite had. Now 106, 91 here. No. So scary with the bell in hand. Not just into that, but that is gonna... No, he misses. That's not quite enough. The Nair is going to keep him off stage, but, you know, Wicken still has chances if he wants to take the second stock, which would be so huge.
Great dash attack.
Okay, no. Vision Run comes out, not quite going to do it. 143. So many things are going to kill. The key is live. Nice grab! Putting the Hydrant down, and now Wicken is the one that has the Hydrant of his own. You know, Pac-Man can put down another one. Does not want to go for double Hydrant, though. Just managing to shield through all of the rest of it, and that's going to be a huge stock!
Beautiful, beautiful find. Converting this Kip down to exactly one stock. It doesn't matter if he takes this another stock. We only have one more for, of the biggest threat.
And wow, down tilt. I've never seen that KO screen, but we do not care. Wicken, I'm sure, popping off right now, taking down most of the beasts.
It is most of the beast, exactly.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. He did more than enough. Yeah, getting a great lead off of the first player as he's been doing, but actually falling through on the lead and converting it, cementing it. So we only need one more stock to be taken before we get back into the normal territory of the presumably Willy and then maybe the Pikachu, maybe the other players.
Yeah, the Pikachu.
So we'll
waiting for life.
We'll see if USF if USF's able to, because not only do we have Kip down to one stock, but we also have the counter pick advantage. Yeah. So if we can find an answer, because we found our one Kip answer, right? Wicken made some adaptations, played around the fruit much better. We'll see if we have any other answers. I think we're gonna save Mew.
Yeah, we're probably gonna save Mew, but what I think is really funny is something that you said, a really good point that you made, was when they're down to one stock, you're not even necessarily trying to counterpick that person, you're trying to think in advance. Yeah. I think we're trying to counterpick this one person still. I think this is the exception to the rule. I think when you put on such a display as you did, game 2, 11 stocks taken, you command a sort of respect that I don't think USF is going to be ignoring, even though you're down to your last stock.
Because the worst thing would be if USF's like, we can take one stock at anyone.
That'd be fine.
So we can we can send anyone.
Well, I think he 3-stocked 2 of our players last time, so
you cannot be too careful around Kip right now. He is playing on Demon Time for sure. So I think we'll see what the answer is.
Okay,
this is
an answer.
Okay, yeah.
And you know what? I like it quite a lot. Now, this is the same player that we used to counterpick Pac-Man before, and that is going to be Poobie, of course. Yeah. But instead of front play, we're jumping up the tier list a little bit.
Oh, a little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, some might say, if I'm not say a little bit, I would say a lot bit.
A little bit.
I would say this is a very big jump.
1 or 2 places.
Yeah. Inside the NBA thing here, Poobie used to play Steve. Was a Steve main quite a few years ago, I think, when she was like.
You say used to. I mean,
but then mostly switched to Piranha Plant at some point, but still has it in the back pocket. And this Steve is definitely a threat. Whenever she switches to Steve, I'm like, okay, she's trying to win.
Yeah.
Before it was like, oh, I'm having fun with Piranha Plant, but she's like, no,
we're just seeing like the camping. Like we're seeing the Piranha Plant. I know that you said that Steve actually plays forward, but no, we're just seeing like pure Steve, shameless, get that diamond. Yeah, girl.
Steve will hold forward once he has diamonds. But until then, you might as well get as strong as possible. Going out, once again, a % lead on Kip, which we were struggling to get. But actually, Steve is one of the few characters that's actually going to have a neutral tool that can match the presence of Hydrant.
Yeah.
Powered minecarts just take down everything. Yeah. And it's so strong if you actually do find the kill.
Wow, that was a good sequence there from Kip. But it is one of those things where, huge backer with the diamonds. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
A cool 80% that Kip earned there in that scrap.
Oh! No, wow, great parry.
Yeah.
On Wi-Fi? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought that Pac-Man had a deathmatch there. Maybe he was a little bit too scared that he wouldn't have time to punish anything, even on a parry. But
and now we're getting down to this time. We finally found something that command. Oh, I thought the block was gonna save it, but no! That is so huge for Poobie and for USF, because now Steve, it was a point that I was going to make before, but I think now it's even more relevant. Steve is one of those characters that sometimes, for as good as he is, struggles in a crew battle, because for the sole purpose of when Steve is down to his last stock, going into the next game after that, it becomes so much harder for him because you keep your resources between stocks. One stock Steve is not that scary. It's it's not the same high, like, top tier that we know and maybe not love, but it is not the same character. Now, keeping your 3 stocks means that you have that much more time to build up your resources for a big grand finale at the end, which is so crucial. We finally found the answer to the Pac-Man, and it basically means I'm going to camp more than you are camping, you get antsy, and then I get my tools, and then you're...
Because there are some characters that are going to camp Diamond Steve, but it's very difficult. Because the thing is, like, if you really truly think you're not going to get hit, like, this is how Zero Suit players will play against Steve. It depends. You can mid-range him, but if you're really fast, you can kind of camp Steve. But you know that you're going to have to go from... You're going to have to fight the best character. You're going to have to camp the best character in the game. Because he will have as many minecarts as he wants, as many anvils as he wants.
The minecarts are even... Dare I say, well, I shouldn't say they were more impactful because the Diamond obviously put insane work, but the minecarts are just so brutal. Yeah,
if you can, because you noticed how Kip if Kip wanted to break everything up, he would throw a key, and the key would break his own hydrant, and it would like reset everything.
Bread tastes better than key. Sorry.
And minecart is almost that tool of itself, something that can take down a hydrant and take down everything that's going on, and just reset back to where we were.
We're going nuclear here. Shenandoah does not want to mess around with this zombie, going straight to the big guns. Willie coming out on that Kazuya.
Did someone say top tiers?
Yeah.
We got, like...
I was talking about DLC privilege before. I mean, this is,
USF's roster is kind of like a gaggle of mid-tiers plus Inkling. But, like, I guess Poobie's like, I
think we need to...
For Game 3, it's time to win. And going here, and we have, 2 of the most notorious characters in Fighter Pass 2. Probably the most...
In the game, not even Fighter Pass 2. And, wow, I mean, that is brutal right there. Shenandoah coming out, and barely taking any %, which is even more crucial. Now, Poobie did a really good... okay, no, not quite.
Back pretty well, but I'm really surprised that F Smash, that killed his strong because it was so close to him.
See, Kazuya combo coming out, but no. Steve Jab is fast.
And notice on Smashville gives a lot of wood and not a lot of the other resources. So Steve, even though we're like this far into the game, still has not actually gotten the tools that they're looking for. Which are a little,
their entire thing is just wood. They have no iron, like no stone. Like this is looking really. I mean, they can make TNT, although out of blocks completely. I mean, that is just wow.
Yeah. Okay, we got some iron now. As long as we can throw some minecarts, then.
Yep. Yo, there it is!
Good find.
That was so crucial, and now, right back super fast. Now, taking that stock is really important, right? Because you've just given Mew a much easier chance, right? And then now, I mean, if you can take another one, that would be obviously even better. Gold is now possible to be made, which... Yeah, she hasn't been able to craft anything.
I know, right?
There's diamond.
Okay, we finally have a diamond for one more.
Oh, we're gonna, but we're gonna intentionally wait for... Okay. Well, we know that this stock is cooked, so we're using our hands. Oh the charge! We have no tools. Steve with his hands is just scrapping. A sword is the only thing that's left.
This is insane.
Sword is the only thing. Oh my God! Just fine. Yes.
How often are you seeing a Steve lift to 216 against Kazuya?
With no tools. What a grab!
No, back out.
Okay, mining with the hands. Mining. Oh, what a berry!
What is this?
Oh! It's not gonna kill.
I can't believe it. This is so.
This is so unbelievable. 150.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, using up a lot of the resources there. That charging fist. Charging fist.
Nothing.
I was gonna beast slap you with my fist, and then that didn't go anywhere. Okay, now we have Diamond, and Diamond gonna clean it up, and now we can actually see the gameplay. Okay, completely ruins her space to mine by mining the floor.
If she did all of that with no tools, now she's Diamonds. Oh, I can't.
What are we gonna see? Oh, Kazuya going deep, trying to get a reversal there. Back air off the stage once again. Okay.
Dude, this is incredible.
I cannot believe what we've seen.
What a fight.
And it's still gonna kill. And that's gonna be Poobie throwing it down. What looked to be be so difficult in that first stock, completely turning it around. Can you believe what's been happening in this game?
That is... I've never seen that before. Where I've seen that situation where Steve's like, "Oh, I don't want to use my diamond yet."
Yeah.
I've never seen them win like
with
that.
Fists.
Though.
It wasn't even like they lost. She only had wood for the long. Like, didn't craft. I don't think any tools before the diamond on the third stock. So first stock just gets immediately deleted. Second stock, I mean, the wood. Almost getting the kill with a wood sword in like center stage, and then when she died was charging up her fist, just charging up the fist, which I believed because it causes that like 170. I don't think that's gonna kill or even come close, but just the mental damage that image brought on, I think, was really
like
there's
a Steve at 200%.
Yeah,
and they have no tools.
Yeah,
and you can't find a kill. That is.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. And now, what is this, a 7-3 lead? 7-3.
Yeah, it really is, though.
Mew, who we were saving for Willie, now free.
Now free to fight whoever.
Aliastar. And Aliastar getting to choose their moveset exactly for one character. It's looking real good.
Yeah. Poopy has this thing that she does where she'll go Steve like once in a blue moon at tournaments. Like there is like last season.
Why didn't you do that before?
Last season she went Steve I think one local and she beat Black Lemonade and Chuck Fug.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, why don't you do this all the time? I was like, I don't like Steve.
Okay, like, but for the school, you don't get to, if you don't have fun, it's whatever. You're playing for glory. You're playing for your people, right? And
you got some work to do. I'm seeing a lot of top tiers, huh?
Yeah.
Steve, Rob, Kazia.
Yeah.
I guess we decided to win. But
yeah, game 3 they all come out, right?
Yeah, I guess so. They're like no more playing around with.
Yeah,
these,
Poopy, and already we're seeing Poopy not really try to even go for diamonds, which I don't know if I agree with, but like at the same time I understand.
Yeah.
Just trying to like run it down with the wood and just get a whole bunch of ooh. Okay, just because it's wood, that's not gonna.
The thing is, you're not gonna have time to make a full diamond because you only have one stock. So
I mean, you might.
You might.
Okay.
Well, if they do this, if they're standing that far away, then fair enough.
Yep. Okay, what's happening? What is happening? Do something.
Was he trying to nair the blocks and just missed 4 times?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
But Poopy coming out with a percent lead once again, and not quite on diamond.
There's diamond.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
and that's diamond.
Use it immediately because you have no stock to save it for sure.
Yeah.
So, pretty a lot of stone, not too many blocks, but enough to.
Yeah, I don't know if we see a minecart.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not going to do it. But oh wait, I lied. There is the minecart, and Rob not managed to find. Okay, ooh, really spicy off to the side, and that's Diamond backer being so strong. Not actually can find the kill, which, it probably shouldn't at that percent, but the fact that we even have to question it is just absurd, and Poopy really just holding forward now. Rob finding a good hit.
And the thing is in Steve, like, even if your moves don't kill, that means that you send them off stage for like 5 seconds, and you can get more resources to some more diamonds, so.
Ooh! Yep. The big stomp coming in. And Steve, like I said, not the same top tier when you're down to 1 stock, although... Right. I mean,
she found the time.
Yeah, she did find the time to manage.
The thing is, I mean, you no matter what, like Steve's recovery is interesting, right? Because it has no it technically has a hitbox at the very start, but by the time that it's going, it's that. And Rob is so good at punishing those because I believe it's the only downer. It's by far the most active downer spike in the game. I believe it's active for 5 frames. So you don't have to time it too well. You have to time it a little bit, but they're very good find. By the Rob player. I don't know who
I wasn't sure either. Not in our notes.
Yeah.
As maybe a new development for a player or a player that we just wasn't on our radar for sure, which happens, but definitely something to be looking out for. Now we have 2 of our players remaining for the 1. It would have been so icing on the cake if Poopy were to find that last stock after taking out the other 2 demons, but
yeah.
Not finding that stock, but the job is more than done. Even figuring out the last character is
more than done. I mean, because Rob
more than done her job.
Her part. Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, no.
I believe in Mew, but the matchup is not great.
No.
Rob Inkling is a very difficult matchup. Arguably, Inkling's worse, and I can't imagine it's great for Mew Sword Fighter either. I believe our players are fully capable of overcoming what the matchup might be on paper, but we're definitely not out of the woods. A character like Rob, even if they're not finding the crazy early kills, the neutral is so oppressive that they can play, especially on Wi-Fi. So we will have to keep. We're in a great position, but we have to keep our heads. We have to not die to any crazy early side Bs. We have to exploit Rob's exploitable disadvantage state and do the best we can to close this out. Close out the great position that Wiccan and Poopy have brought us into.
Yep. And, you know, Aleostar is going to be the thing, and we need to, we're going to come over to game just now as the Sword Fighter is going to be the option now. We're going to have all of their moves.
Yeah. Okay, here we are.
Pre-selected for Rob. You know, whatever the best matchup, you know, is just like you're playing a Robin bracket. Okay.
Yeah.
If I win, my team wins. That's basically what Aleostar is saying to themselves right now.
Yeah, I think the main question for them is going to be between the Chakram and the Gale Stab, and it makes sense that we see Chakram here because you need to be able to keep up with the gyro laser pressure that Rob is able to exert at long ranges, which Chakram is definitely a great move. You do have concerns about edge guarding when you give a Gale Stab, but the extra up B makes it probably palatable.
Ooh, big beefy back air there.
Yeah, great
Shenandoah not quite done yet, they're saying. 5-3, we've seen, you know, greater leads disappear, so USF needing to stay on their toes here, of course. Now, I'm not saying that the alarm bells are ringing necessarily, but looking scary now.
A good find on the Dragon Fair up tilt. As long as Aleostar can do some damage here, you would really like to find two. If you find one, then that's fine, but you're relying on your team more.
Gyro here.
I will say this is a difficult situation to be in sometimes because when you have a lead, like if you're playing like to make a comeback, it's like, okay, well, if I do bad, then I guess it wasn't my fault to be this position. But it's very
wow, and that would have been a really you know, a big up smash, getting a lot of damage on, but it is going to be the Aleostar up smash that is going to do it.
It's 26.
Yeah, that is absurd. I noticed that as well.
Insane. Oh my goodness.
Character's broken.
True.
Top tier.
Can we ban me Sword Fighter? Hey, you know, everyone's talking about me Brawler, but real.
Are they?
Sometimes. I've seen.
You sound like a billionaire. Just like. It's not me. It's not me. Okay, we need to stop. We need to stop.
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, that's really funny. Oh, almost gonna find it there. The upper would not quite have killed, but any more damage we can tack on, and it's looking great for Aleostar. They are probably going to tap out shortly at 156, but they have enough pressure here that they probably are going to be able to find one more stock. And if they can leave it at a 3-1 position for View, I have no doubts.
Yeah.
He can close that one out, even in a hard matchup. But laser barely missing there. Rob getting a little bit of aggressive. I don't know.
Ooh, wow, that was almost it.
The
rage, yeah, I mean, this is absolutely, like, honestly, anyone's stock, even though the stage controls are very, you know, firmly in Rob's control. But I do think any strong hit from Aleostar, okay, not quite that one, but now with the stage control, I do believe that they, yeah, that's the Rob classic.
So, yeah, that's kind of a position where it's like, if that was a last hit, or they both have one stock, then it would be very exciting. But it's like, as long as Aleostar can find a few hits, then they've done their job, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just don't get too casual. Any back air, some forward airs.
Yep.
But you also do have to remember, Rob has plenty of ways to make a comeback.
Oh,
if he gets the right downer spike, if he gets the right nair side B, this could turn around still. But I don't like these aggressive
Okay, it's not
options.
going to be the back throw, which I was a little bit more concerned about, like a back throw and then finding a side B off the stage. Not quite going to be playing to that advantage, getting hit by the gyro. Good spacing there from the Rob. Here's the down tilt's coming in. There's the grab. What is it going to be from the down throw? It's going to just be that, and then managing to find the escape. Down air, not quite going to do it. This does suddenly look like a much more important hit scenario for USF than we might have expected to see. If Shenandoah wants to have a chance in this group battle, it really does come down to, can the Rob find the clutching hit now? Now, Aleostar, he's just looking so scary. That's not quite going to do it, but both characters, Rob now with the stage control. Nice hit, and that's going to do it.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
Beautiful. They did their job.
Okay, whoa. And then, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, great. Good play there by the Rob. I think Alias Star, and especially in their first crew battle, I get getting antsy there.
Welcome to USF Gold.
Because I have been there. When you have like this kind of position, it's so scary to not just be like fishing. Because what I think, in my opinion, what happened there is Alias Star was either playing the projectile game or doing a grounded burst option. I think what they really needed to do there was just like approach with your aerials. Because Resort Deferred is great, the aerials. Like I think a lot of any stray back air and up air or anything would have killed. But like what the Rob was doing there was just throwing projectiles and shielding. The few times that they did try to go in, like in the last stock, it was like the down Bs and the side Bs, and then the Rob shielded it and then punished it. So I think I think they needed to kind of approach from the air instead of with burst options. But they did what they needed to do eventually, able to clutch out the very antsy last hit and put Mew in a lovely position.
3-1.
Yeah.
Yep. It's still going to last person.
Yeah. This is
it's against a Rob, which is, it's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, really good in this matchup for a few reasons. One, the projectiles are very oppressive. Two, the down air. If Mew, Inkling can recover from very far away, but the more time that it goes, the easier it is to line up that down air spike. And no hitbox in the recovery means that they are very vulnerable to the spike and the edge guarding in general because of the way that Inkling has to recover. Rob can do a lot of to bother them with these like the fair and some back airs. But on the other hand, it's a big body, and we've seen what Mew is able to do against these big body characters once he gets his hands on them. Yeah. If he can find an up throw or some kind of like back air into the advantage state, then I mean it speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be one of those things where when you have that big of a stock advantage, every stray hit, like on the opening stock, every stray hit just feels like a huge win. You know what I mean? Because that is permanent. You know what I mean? And that's permanent, and it is going to make USF's path to victory that much closer. So, can you get off to a furious fast start like we saw in his previous set against Willie?
When you have these leads like this, there's a sense where you want to like play like oh, I'll just play for trades. I'll keep a little percent. I don't think Mew's going to do that. I think Mew knows one direction and it's forward. I think that he will play as if he has to come back. It doesn't matter. He's not going to play. He's not going to play like that.
It's going to be 70% right off the bat. Really, really huge damage now. Even if he takes some of the damage here back, the lead is just so so large.
Because the Rob basically needs to play perfect if they want to make this comeback. And already this, barring some insane Inkling struggling to kill situation, I think it's looking pretty bad.
Rob trying to go off to the other side of the stage. I do like that. Managing to actually hit the laser as well. At some point, he's going to have to stop getting hit, right?
Yeah.
And, Mew not even at, like, a particular kill percent, in my opinion. Getting hit by a bunch of stray stuff, but this stock has done its job. Anything from here on out is extra credit, right? That's a nice way to think about it.
Yeah. I think there's some things of a kill here for Inkling, but
Roller.
Yeah, it's mostly gonna be roller because raw upper is not killing.
I was like, did that kill? I can't tell because the scoreboard's getting in the way. Not quite anywhere close, but the percentages is going to be so huge. Both at 139 now. If this were last stock, that would be something different. But I think
it's probably just it's almost insurmountable. Even if Inkling struggles to kill, it's not. Yeah.
And there's the splat bomb. That's going to do it. USF, stumbled but found their way in the best of three, managing to get revenge on Shenandoah for last time. Mew extracting that righteous for USF, and that is going to be a 1-0 record, starting off the season beautifully.
You love to see the conversion coming out from Mew there. But I would say that the MVPs of that match, not to discredit Mew's composure there, are Wiccan and Pooby for taking
Pooby Steve. Let's a little asterisk.
But they had Kazuya.
No.
Their roster was Kazuya top tier. Pac-Man
No. Not even saying. Meaning not the plant. That's what I meant. No. Not saying that Steve is inherently an asterisk. I do think that. I loved the play that we saw from Steve. That was the most hype match, I think, with the wood.
So funny.
That was so peak.
Yeah.
But no, I think asterisk because I think we'd all prefer to see a little bit more Pooby Steve come out.
Because Wiccan getting us to elite and then taking 2 stocks off of the player that just destroyed us in game 2, and then Pooby coming out because they were like, oh, let's throw a wrench in the plans. Let's throw Willie out early. But then Poopy's like, okay.
Yeah.
What if I like
W
what if
Steve.
I up tilted you with my hand?
W Steve.
Yeah.
John Steve.
That was John Steve. His first name's Steve. It's Steve Minecraft.
It's John Steve.
Goodness
W
gracious.
Steve,
Yeah. I'm really happy with our players here coming out, and very, very fun match to watch. Game 2, game 1 was back and forth like crazy. Game 2,
not back and forth.
it was
we learned how to adapt.
We got a little.
We had to figure out how to adapt.
Yeah, but then game 3 was fun as a USF fan, especially.
Yeah. Oh man, it was beautiful.
Wow. I want to see. Maybe I need to like tell Poopy like, okay, you can have fun at your local.
Only lock
the
in.
Steve. It's a good Steve.
It's a good Steve.
She's very
Good zombie.
very talented with that character. Really happy with our players today, coming out 1-0 in NACE Varsity Premier for USF, taking down an opponent that we lost to the last time.
Yeah, a very strong opponent.
So I really, only positive things to say. Really fun match to watch, and I think if we have nothing else,
we'll see you next week for another really fun, exciting match.
Yeah.
This is not something that you're going to want to miss. It's going to be every Thursday, 7 p.m. Block it off on your calendars. Put alarms on your phone. You're not going to want to miss them. This is amazing. So thank you so much for watching, tuning in. My name is Benjamin.
My name is Cole.
And this is USF Esports. Let's go Bulls!
Go Bulls!